Hello everybody and welcome to this guide and tutorial for the golden shot. Difficulty level is hard and we're gonna play one of the Old Bridge Park for the hard version. This is hole number 4 if I'm not mistaken. Before we take a closer look, make sure that you do go and hit that like button, the thumbs up, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Make sure to subscribe to the best guides on the market on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You can find the QR code in the golden shot guide but also in the description down below. We offer exclusive tour text guides for tour 8 up to tour 13 and the ultimate tournament guides for pro, expert and master for as little as $2.50 and above. So check it out and subscribe today. Alright, Old Bridge Park, hole number 4. We have this one time before and we're gonna play the same way this time. I've been spending a lot of time on this hole and trying to do this as consistent as possible. Unfortunately though, this is a very hard par 3 for the golden shot and it's going to be difficult to get hole-in-one. So I would say like this is, I do recommend to say to you, or like I do tell all of you when to spend money and invest in the golden shot, but this is a golden shot where I personally wouldn't invest much. If it's not desperately in the need for berserkers, I would personally not invest much money in this golden shot. But the shot here, or like the shots here and the guide, I'm confident that playing this one accurately will absolutely receive you one of the chests, which is not going to then make the free shot a waste. But I want to be very clear with that from the start because this is a difficult par 3. You can win the obsidian chest for the hole-in-one, amber chest for the yellow ring, crimson chest for the red ring, we have aqua chest for the light blue ring, and cobalt chest for the dark blue ring. We're gonna play with the golden wood club every single time. Depending on the wind, we're going to play either max +10 or a minimum distance +10. Everything that is in green speaks together with max +10, and with green, that is headwind. All the headwind angles is what we're gonna use there. If it is tailwind and crosswind, we're gonna play minimum distance +10 instead, and it's gonna be 2 different landing spots depending on if it's headwind or crosswind or tailwind. And the reason for that, my friends, is that we are going to see ourselves playing more or less, what can I say, we're gonna play close to min-max club. So to make sure that we're not gonna pull in between clubs, we're going to have to do 2 separate landing spots. So in tailwind, this is tailwind and a crosswind position. We are going to use the inner ring, which is hard to see in the screenshot. We're gonna use the inner ring combined with the second bounce in the center by the bright green square row as a reference, and this is before spin always. Once we have found that, we're going to then apply spin and we're going to adjust and take our shot. And this is for crosswind and for tailwind. When it comes for headwind, we are going to play a little bit higher up, and this because we do have a compressed ball guideline. So if we would have aimed as close as we do in crosswind and tailwind, then we would be clipping the rough more or less every single time. I'm gonna use the top of the red ring by the fringe, where the fringe meets the green, combined with the second bounce in the center of the dark green square row before spin has been applied. So there's a lot of things, but it's most definitely something that is needed. There are going to be curl in all the wind angles here, and we do have a separate curl sheet for you all, which we will all take a look at in the end of the video together. So for shot number 1, we're gonna play a tailwind here, and the tailwind we move up, and remember we are doing the inner ring to be just by the edge of the rough with the second bounce in the center of the bright green square. We're gonna go max backspin always in all the tailwind angles and 2 right spin. The only thing that will differ is the curl. 6.7, and we're looking at the red the ring values, and we're gonna adjust 2.9, and we are center the ball, and then we're going to apply curl. And you can see here now we're applying approximately 3/4 of a ball of a right curl. The ball will then bounce on the fairway and it will get down towards the pin, and we roll. We have a good speed, a little bit too much curl, which is obviously the difficult part with it all. When we are using curl in more or less every wind angle, that's going to be hard to do accurate. And why do we use curl then? It's because the backspin alone is not enough to let us go directly at pin with just the side spin and the backspin. At least not in tailwind. So therefore it becomes an absolute must to give for us to use curl. Now we do have from the other direction wind coming left to right. 6.6 miles per hour is 2.8 rings, and we're gonna pull over the bullseye as per usual. Center the ball and apply the suggested curl, and we're gonna see ourselves being close to get ourselves on hole in one. You can see here I'm using a little bit more than outside wall right curl, not really half a ball, but close towards that. So here, very, very close, getting a 360 around the hole, and would have been a red ring if we still would have had that one there, but unfortunately I do not, and we're getting the aqua chest and getting some cards here in the end, which is nice, and 2 berserkers as well, and I will take that. Now we do have a headwind, so now we're going to move up, and remember, we're going to use a different landing spot. It's going to be top of the red ring by where the fringe meets the green, with the second bounce in the dark green square row. And in headwind, here now I'm using 2 right spin and 3.8 backspin, or maybe even 3.9 here in the video. And the spins will vary here when it comes to having a wind that is in this direction, and if we turn it around and we have it with a southeast instead, we're gonna have a little bit more backspin. And the reason for that is due to the fact that we're pulling to a lower point in this angle compared to in the other angle. So adjustment is done. We are applying the curl, and we bounce, and we roll. Unfortunately a little bit too little curl, but we are around the hole. We are definitely sniffing the hole to get ourselves the hole in one. All right, the Malibu, we do have quarterback, and then we do have the Firefly, and at least, you know, a one single alone berserker in the end. So headwind, again, we do have a wind similar, but not the same. A little bit more headwind than what we had than crosswind. And playing this one, 3.7 backspin to right spin. Adjustment is going to be with the green numbers this time. And we're always going to pull over the bullseye. And it is important to pull the correct amount of numbers here, otherwise you will most definitely struggle, because the headwind will then push the ball back too much, and it's going to be a big risk of you clipping the rough. Alright, applying a little bit more than half a ball of right curl, perfect ball it is, and we are bouncing on the fairway down towards the pin. Can we get it in then? Oh my god. A little bit too much curl this time. So again, the curl is most definitely going to be a difficult thing to get accurate. The amber chest it is, and we are opening the chest to see what we're getting. Hornet, and then we do have the epic here in the end. Apocalypse, 9 cards. I know I already have it maxed out, but still, some berserkers as well. Final shot, can we get the hole in one already? Tailwind it is. And we're gonna in a ring by the rough, second bounce to be in the center of the bright green square row, max backspin to right spin, and as this is what I judge at least to be more or less a straight tailwind, we're going to pull over the bullseye. 6.2, 2.7 rings. We're gonna center the ball first, and then we're going to apply the curl. There we go. You can see here now I'm using more or less a little bit more than half a ball of curl. I would say it's pretty close to just half a ball of curl here. Bounces on the fairway. We love this camera angle, right? And it rolls and rolls and dead center. And finally we're getting a hole in one on this extremely difficult par 3 to be consistent on. And but again, that is based on more or less one thing that makes this one so difficult, and that is the curl. But once again, we are using curl because we can't attack the pin directly without using that, because we don't have enough side spin and we don't have enough backspin. So it's kind of like a crappy situation. And in the end, the guide here provides you a solid opportunity to get something out of worth with your free shot. But once again, I do not recommend to invest heavily in this one if it's not absolutely needed. Guys, get the ultimate tournament guides and the exclusive tour text guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. They're by far the best guides on the market for tour play and for tournament play. Link is in the description down below. So let's take a look at the text guide, and the text guide is as always made by Tony Richardson based on my shots and my shots alone. Make sure that you do subscribe to Tony's channel. You can find the link in the description down below. So let's take a look at the green values to start with, which is the headwind route. You see here before spin, red ring by the fringe with the second bounce in center of the dark green square row. Again, that is before spin. Very important. Then you have the VPR table on the bottom left, and when it comes to spins, in direct headwind 4.2 backspin, 2 right spin. Wind coming left to right with headwind 4.2 backspin and 2 right spin. Wind coming right to left with headwind 3.7 backspin and 2 right spin. Now we're looking at the red values, which is the tailwind and the crosswind. Before spin, green ring by the rough with the second bounce in the center of the bright green square. The reason we're starting further back is because the tailwind will push us further up. One thing to have in mind is if you do drop down into the bunker with a right to left wind, it could be sufficient to push up just slightly. However, that is untested, that's just an estimation. When it comes to the spins, direct tailwind, max backspin to right spin, wind coming left to right, max backspin to right spin there as well. And that's the same with wind coming right to left with tailwind and left to right direct crosswind. Wind coming right to left direct crosswind for backspin to right spin. And now we're going to come to something that is very important, that is that we will be having to compensate with curl with the different wind angles. Every wind will require curl, unfortunately. See pictures for how much to use in each wind. If unsure, it is better to use less than more as the green slopes left to right. And there you can see the different curl pictures, which also adds an element of difficultness on this par 3. Scan the QR code below to improve your game and become a better player with the best tour and tournament guides available. You can also find the link to Patreon in the description down below. Thank you so much everybody for watching this golden shot guide for hard version. As I said in the beginning, if someone would ask me, should I invest a lot of money in this one for extra shot? I would not. I would personally make sure that with the guide here, we give everyone a solid chance to reach a good chest with your free shot. Obviously, if you want to invest and get more shots, that's up to you, but not something that I would recommend. This is an inconsistent par 3. And as we're not being able to play the rough bump, which is the main way of playing this hole, it's going to cause for even more inconsistencies on that green. That is something that I want to specifically address, as I feel that is important for many of you that are deciding if you're gonna purchase shots or not, using and watching this video or text guide for that matter. But thank you so much for spending the time watching this video. I wish you the absolute best of luck in the golden shot.